Without acceleration, you are left with a weak and ineffective serve. This is true for the flat, the slice, and the kick serve. In fact, the serves are the fastest strokes in tennis, easily reaching over 100 miles an hour. And if we compare that to a ground strokes, it is very difficult to reach that same speed. The acceleration on the serve should be gradual. Now, there are some servers who have more of an abrupt, faster rhythm, and that works for some players, but the majority of the best servers of all time have a gradual acceleration that goes from slow to fast. And what I mean by gradual acceleration is that it simply takes a while for the serve to accelerate. So most players will bounce the ball inside the court, and then it will initiate some kind of a rocking motion. This is different from player to player. And then we will start syncing the toss arm with the hitting arm. We're going to toss the ball, and we're also going to take the racket back. And now, as the racket goes up into the trophy position, we will also get our body in the proper position so we can execute all the multitude of power sources and get the maximum acceleration once we initiate the racket drop. Once the racket drop is initiated, the amount of time it takes to get from the racket drop into the contact is so short, and the acceleration is so fast that this is impossible to see with the naked eye. And certain technical elements that are occurring in this area from the racket drop into the contact, such as the pronation into the contact, are being performed at such a speed that it's impossible for us to be conscious of these actions. And the time span that continuing pronation occurs in shortly after contact is even shorter, which makes it absolutely humanly impossible to do this action consciously. So what this means for you as a recreational player, that you must learn the fundamentals of the serve, and you will be able to accelerate the serve to tremendous speeds. You will then be able to accelerate the serve so fast that this area from the racket drop into the contact and shortly after contact is going to be over so fast, in a blink of an eye, you will not even know what happened. And if your serve was accelerated correctly, all the technical elements inside this area are going to be there. So for example, the pronation into the contact will be there without you being conscious of it, and the same goes for continuing pronation. If you try to practice continuing pronation mechanically at a conscious level, you will either have to hit your serve extremely slow, and you don't want to do that. You want to accelerate your serve as fast as possible. Or if you do accelerate your serve and then try to mechanically and consciously make continuing pronation happen, you will end up with something what I call fake pronation. And fake pronation happens to anyone who tries to consciously continue to pronate. So even if I hit a serve and if I consciously try to continue to pronate, I will do it too late. And this is impossible to time correctly. You saw the time span in which from the contact to the continuing pronation, you can't even see it. It's happening so fast. So if you try to do this consciously, mechanically, you will never be able to get the timing right, and you will do it way too late after contact, and it brings absolutely nothing to your serve. So instead of working on pronation into the contact and continuing pronation, work on the real fundamentals of the serve, and there are many, trust me. And then once you develop all these fundamentals, you eventually will be able to accelerate the serve properly, and you will have pronation into the contact and continuing pronation without ever being conscious of it.